unless you understand a pretty serious self-hate and a hate for everything that is, and that hate is kind of eating you up and you're in desperation, you probably got no need for me. Oh, I came for those who are hurting, not those who are doing well. Empowered. Some of our souls are longing now for true love. I am that I am, and so are you. We live down here in the foothills, where the paths are all riddled with holes, and the king up there on the mountain will be appeased by nothing less than our souls. Spirit rising up from the people, people rising up in love.
A transgender biologist and a rabbi walk into a bar. The rabbi says to the bartender, "If a bear shits in the woods and no one is around to smell it, how fast would you have to run to outpace the speed of light when that bear is on a planet in an S-type orbit in a binary solar system?" Confused by what the bartender believes to be a metaphysical nonsense, the bartender ignores the rabbi and says to the biologist, "How do you identify?" A long-used colloquial term in that region meaning, "What do you want to drink?" It is in this very moment that the biologist finally receives his revelation around the rabbi's bear parable and exclaims loudly, "Quantum entanglement!" At which point the bartender says to the both, "Knock it off. I'm the only one who makes the transitions around here, and I'm exercising my right to deny service to your phenotype. Get out, the both of yous." To this, the rabbi says to the bartender, very cleverly, and this is an inside joke between himself and the biologist. Put a pin in it for now, just remind me and I'll tell you later. Anyway, the rabbi says to the bartender, "Who is this both of yous you're talking about? We identify as one." That is just so much like the rabbi to say something like that. You just gotta know him. To the holy, all things are holy. Whoo, that rabbi, he's quite a flamer. Well, that's what we call someone who is on fire for the Lord in our temple. Now, the rabbi and the biologist are just about bouncing out of that bar on vibrational energy which is emanating straight from their diaphragms. I'm talking belly laughter to the Higgs degree. They're about 3 blocks north of Soho when the rabbi asks the biologist, "Have you taken dark matter into account?" "Come on, Rab," says the biologist. "You know dark matter is just a word, a placeholder for a phenomena that we can't yet explain." "Yes, you are correct," says the rabbi, "and that's exactly why I'm asking you to consider it in your answer." "Dark matter, according to our best understanding," said the rabbi, "comprises about 85% of the material what is, and we have exactly no idea whatsoever what it is. We can't see it, we can't touch it, we have no instruments which can detect it, but we know it's there, because astrophysics tells us that something must be holding all the galaxies together." Very suddenly, the biologist's mood changed to somber. "All that belly laughing busted something loose in me, Rab," said the biologist. "My transition didn't have the lasting effect that I thought it would. I keep thinking that I should have arrived by now, like I should be feeling more whole, more alive, but I don't. There's not quite the resolution that I'd hoped for. I really believed that this was it." "That's really understandable," said the rabbi, as he allowed himself to vibrate sympathetically with the biologist's shift in frequency. "Did I ever tell you about the time I made first chair in the bass section of the orchestra?" said the rabbi. "I was a brand new player, but I out-practiced everyone, and I nailed that audition. The veteran players were dismayed, beside themselves with envy. And there I am, this newbie, and now it is my responsibility to lead this bass section. I didn't even know what my responsibilities were as section leader. Turns out it's my job to write all the bowings and lead rehearsals and fix tuning and rhythms, and I'm just not equipped to do that. I don't have the experience. I just played a really good audition." I knew nothing about orchestral community. I had zero leadership skills. My pursuit for excellence had thrown me into the fire. My ability to practice and learn a musical instrument was well beyond my capacity to facilitate a communal musical experience. Okay, Rab, said the biologist. I'm listening, but I certainly don't understand what you're trying to tell me. I'm feeling pretty vulnerable right now, and I'm trying not to read anything in that's not there, so please just give it to me straight. Look, brother, said the rabbi, we live in a confusing world. Our species' intellect is way out ahead of our heart. We are all really afraid, and hardly anyone is honest enough with themselves to know how afraid they actually are. The rabbi continued, you told me that you hoped that you would experience some sense of completion. I believe you used the word resolution. Everyone is looking for that resolution, and the harder we chase it, the faster it runs. It's like trying to catch up with a light beam. No matter how fast you pursue, you know how fast that light is moving? At the speed of light. And this is what we are all discovering together. Why you gotta talk like that, Rab? Said the biologist. You answer my questions with more parables. Can't you just give the answers that you know I'm so desperately looking for? I talk to you like this because I love you, and it's not my job to tell you the difference between what's right and what's wrong. It's not my job to give you a resolution, said the rabbi. The biologist snorted. Well, what is your job then, Rab? My job is to remind you that you are free. And I'm here to remind you that you are not alone. Our job is to remind one another of those very things. I'm here to remind you that material, as we define it, is only 15% of what we know there must be. And that's why we invent words sometimes, to hold place for that great mystery which we are all discovering together, scientists and mystics alike. If you're looking for resolution, we're going to have to go deeper than this transition, and you've already discovered that for yourself. It looks like to me that you are one of those who is ready to fully embrace the death and rebirth process, the cyclical nature of this universe which, when given the attention that it deserves, reveals to us the mysteries around all the placeholder words. We are not separate, you and I, and we are not separate from God either. There it is, the biggest placeholder word that our world has ever known. So big the Jews had to invent their religion twice, and so it goes throughout the generations. Bifurcations in the great tree of life are the norm. Nothing is as solid as you once thought it was or thought you needed it to be. Resolution, an illusion, at least while you seem to be here in this binary realm, and that sounds a lot like what you already understand about yourself, in that you are ready to transcend the binary role that you were born into. Yes, your answer was correct back there at the bar. Quantum entanglement. Space and time are not nearly as spacey and timey as we once thought them to be. Everything and everyone is everywhere, and all the time is now. You are a brave one, brother, willing to face persecution for what you believe to be your most authentic path. Don't stop being true to yourself now, because now you are in just the right spot to discover who you truly are. You just won the audition, your first chair, and now it's not what you thought it would be. Welcome to life. This is what it is like for everyone. Let's get to work. Let's get to love. Let's look for the next transition. We must choose for ourselves, and we must choose together.
Come home to the quantum. We are spirit, we are delight. Yeah, 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 yeah. We must choose for ourselves and choose together.
My heart is just about as open as I can imagine. Open, open, open. I've been making the choice time and again. I work hard for it, really hard. I push myself like I've never pushed myself before. but not in an angry way. Well, yeah, sometimes in an angry way, but it's an intentional funneling of the pain. I like to think of it like punk rock. I don't even like punk rock. It's not a completely unfiltered anger. I scoop the anger in a cup and I pour it over and through my intellectual moss, this organic process that I hope filters some of the impurities. I don't know if it's working, but it certainly is giving my work an edge that I have never seen before. I tell myself there is a legit criticism to be made of our deeply ailing systems. I look at the people and I see so much need for a really basic education in how not to become a zombie. Breathe deep. I tell myself there is a criticism, there is an education that must be done, and I look at myself after all these years in which I have worked so incredibly hard in my efforts to rid myself of this terrible sickness of the mind that has apparently fallen upon us all. I say to myself, you've got the mind, Trav. You are a wildly talented writer, Trav. Not my words. You're a composer. You've done the study, Trav, and today the work is your salvation. These words today, my friend, are keeping me grounded. The crystallization of these thoughts is bringing me through today. I got to do it now. It has to be done in me. I find myself devoted to the creation of an online archive of public writings and videos. Sometimes I am a brand culture marketer of a community that seems like it doesn't yet exist, but then it does exist. If it didn't exist, I'd definitely be dead. I have some friends who have been very, very helpful in this process, and some of those exact same friends have also been very, very hurtful, as I know I have also been. And so it goes. I was dying, y'all. I was suffocating. I felt many, many times the desire, lacking in will to action, to truly cause myself harm. The authentic desire. I went to therapy, went to ERs, went to the psych unit, I went to treatment centers, I went into a church building to go to a 12-step program. I wrote about myself to understand what the fuck going on. I walked back into church. Big deal. That was huge for me to walk through the doors of a church again. And this work, as I have mentioned before, might be received as some kind of post-modern day social media SOS. I'm the guy on the corner with the cardboard sign. The end is near, y'all. It just fits me because that is exactly what my life feels like and has felt like for a long time. I prayed last night that God would take me home. It wasn't a self-harm act. It was an authentic prayer. Please, God, are you done with me? I want to dissolve back into the one. I want to come home. And I waited there on the edge of the bed, arms outstretched, chest to the sky. I focused with all my might, long enough that I know the broadcast was sent. It looks crazy to me what we are doing, guys. We need so much help. We need to stop and take more breaths. We need to meet in the park, like all the time. We need to touch the trees. We need to open our hearts to the sun and watch the geese fly over the trees together. We need to play our guitars. We need to learn to celebrate life together. I feel the big work is going to flow from that space. We need to reconnect in ways that our current systems don't allow. We need to drop our nets, a bunch of us at the same time. This is going to require our full attention. Call it what you will. Frame this how you may. Can you hear the call? Can anyone else hear this call?
Time to be set free. Time for us to be what we have always known we were. Time for us to see what can occur.
Are you very good at responding to people when they're pointing fingers at you and calling you names and labeling you? No. Who is?
Alien dancer. I dance like an alien because I am an alien. Alien.
There are certain situations where we are forced to learn in fear. When we join the military, for instance, we are joining an institution that has a history of being a violent hand for an oppressive force. And so we are programmed to respond to fear, and we are shamed when we cannot follow orders precisely. We are trained to kill who we are told to kill when they need to be killed. So when we join an institution like that, it's natural that we would learn through fear-based tactics. My experience has been that in those learning situations, I just got exactly that: fear and conformity, and more fear and more fear and more shame. I've discovered since then that I learn creatively, I learn emotionally, I learn in community, in supportive and helpful community. That doesn't mean that there's not some kind of competition, or that there's not some kind of desire to push one another along, to challenge one another with great strength, to face one another, to speak truth in love to one another. There has to be room for all of these strong things. But learning in a fear-based environment and faith in a fear-based environment is not the goal. I needed to learn everything that I was about to learn as I came to understand what it was like to be born into a system, and then to be crucified by that system, and then to be resurrected out of that system. And that is what we sign up for. We shouldn't be surprised when those types of things start to happen to us, when we sign up for the Christ trip, right? I want to know the Christ, the fellowship of sharing in his sufferings, becoming like him in his death, and so somehow to receive this resurrection from the dead. Although he was the Son of God, he learned obedience by the things which he suffered, and being made perfect, he became the author of eternal salvation for all those who would believe. We memorize these scriptures because somehow we have glimpses into the eternal, and we say it is worth memorizing these things. We have these glimpses into the eternal, which is the only possible reason that you would be listening to these words right now.
Please remind me of who I am. 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 Alien dancing, 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 dance, dance, dance.
This is the music of my home world.
The Son of God came to tell us that we are that Son too. I am that I am. And that's why we killed him. And that's why we still crucify love in ourselves today. Because we're afraid. We're afraid to let that light shine. Because when we let that light shine, it scares people. You'd think that love would bring peace. But oftentimes what happens is love brings division, because there are parts of us, there are parts of ourselves, and there are parts of our communities who
have aligned themselves with fear. And fear will control and threaten, because that's the only power that fear has. It has to maintain the illusion of itself. I am the true king. I am the true king. We remember our brother, the light, the truth, the way. He made a whip of cords and threw the money changers out of the temple that day. He made a whip of cords and threw the money changers out of the temple that day. We all got to find our repentance. Kindness leads us home. We remember our brother. We have ears for holy tones. We have ears for holy. We have ears for holy tones. We have ears for holy tones. We have ears for holy. We have ears for holy tones. I heard a true king will die for his people. I heard that freedom is what we all fear. I know that you can only see yourself in me, and the essence of life is here. Yes, the essence of life is here. I am that great I am. And so are you. And that was the good news. We are not separate from God. God is not separate from us, and any message that we get otherwise is not the truth. And we are to remind one another of this unity that we all share. And we are to remind one another at the risk of our own lives, even when our lives are threatened because we have chosen to devote ourselves to the remembering. We are to remain unafraid. We are to become that fearless one together. We are that true king as we assemble in that body of love. People come together in the spirit of love. Yeah. People come together in the spirit. Deep down, deep calls to deep, come on. Some of our souls are longing now for true love. Rising up, Holy Spirit in the people, yeah. Drop your nets and follow in the way, the truth and the life, come on, yeah. How much is your dollar worth? Where's your treasure stored? Yeah. How much is that dollar worth? Oh, where is your treasure stored? Is it where moth and rust can destroy? Is it where it can be corrupted by a virus? Where is your treasure stored? A rich man came to Jesus saying, Lord, what shall I do? He said, sell all your shit, son, give to the poor, come back and we'll talk. Ooh, oh, 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 oh. Great crowds of people were following Jesus. He turned around and he said to them, hey, if you want to be
my follower. You gotta love me more than anything else. You gotta love me more than your mother and your father, your child and your wife, brothers and sisters too. You gotta love me even more than you love your own life. In fact, unless you understand a pretty serious self-hate and a hate for everything that is, and that hate is kind of eating you up and you're in desperation, you probably got no need for me. Oh, I came for those who are hurting, not those who are doing well. So yeah, no surprise when people say all sorts of crazy stuff about you, because you're one of those who are down there and you start rising up in love. Oh, start standing up for yourself, you know, start respecting the life that God gave you. I am the truth, I am the way, and so are you. Come on, I'm gonna show you how. Let's go, come on. I am the true king. So are you. I am the true king. I heard a true king will die for his people. I heard that freedom is what we all fear. I know that you can only see yourself in me, and the essence of life is here. Yes, the essence of life is here. I am the true king. We live down here in the foothills, where the paths are all riddled with holes, and the king up there on the mountain will be appeased by nothing less than our souls. You know he wants nothing less than our souls. And so we offer our labor at the cost of our own worth. I don't mean to be rattling sabers, but I had my second birth. Have you had your second birth? I heard a true king would die for his people. I heard that freedom is what we all fear. I know that you can only see yourself in me, and the essence of life is here. Yes, the essence of life is here. We live down here in the foothills, where the paths are all riddled with holes, and the king up there on the mountain will be appeased by nothing less than our souls. You know he wants nothing less than our souls. And so we offer our labor at the cost of our own worth. I don't mean to be rattling sabers, but I had my second birth. Have you had your second birth? I heard a true king would die for his people. I heard that freedom is what we all fear. I know that you can only see yourself in me, and the essence of life is here. Yes, the essence of life is here. I am the true king. I am the true king. Yes, I am the true king. I am that I am, and so are you. We are the children of the one love, of the one life, of the one light, of the one way, of the one being, sacred nature, yeah. come on. There's a spirit rising up from the people now. A spirit rising up. There's a spirit rising up from the people now. Yeah, a spirit rising up. A spirit rising up. Deeper power, deeper love, deeper power, yeah. Come on. Spirit rise up from the people. Spirit rise up in love. Spirit rise up in the people. People rise up in love. Say spirit rising up from the people. People rising up in love. People rising up. People rising up. People rising up in love. Yeah. They say a true king will die for his people. They say that freedom is what we all fear. I know you can only see yourself in me, and the essence of life is here. Yes, the essence of life is here. I am the true king. There once was a boy named Eli, and he had a calico cat. That cat, it had 5 kittens. Now what do you think of that? There once was a boy named Eli, and he flew up to the moon. He left the earth in January, and he didn't come back till June. But the calico cat wondered where he was, because Eli was his friend. So the calico cat, he talked the cow into jumping over the moon again.
Little help here, my friend.
Jumping over the moon again. Now the 5 kittens, they miss their mama so. So they cried and cried all night long, singing, where did my mama go? Where did my mama go?
Where did my mommy go? Yeah, that's her.
Eli heard all the way from the moon. He said, don't you worry, I'm coming back real soon. So he hitched a ride all the way. After they flew around the Milky Way. Yes, they flew all around the Milky Way. You know, there's not really any sounds in space. There once was a boy named Eli, and he had a calico cat. That cat, it had 5 kittens. Now what do you think of? Boom.